This is Fintech Chatter, presented by Tier 1 People, leaders in Fintech executive search. And I'm your host, Dexter Cousins. Well, we've got a special show for you tonight where we're coming live from the closing drinks at what has been an absolutely incredible Intersekt Festival 2021. And to start off the show, who better to start off with than Rebecca Shotguppy, CEO of Fintech Australia.
Thanks, Dexter.
Rebecca, what a 2 days.
What a 2 days. Hasn't it been unbelievable? The people, the content, the networking. It's been a big 2 days.
It's been huge, right? And I think what's just been incredible is how much it's evolved in the 18 months since we were last here in Melbourne for Intersekt 2019.
Well, I think, the word that everyone keeps telling me is the maturity factor.
Yeah.
I think over the last 18 months, the sector has really matured, and we continue to see that not only with the Finny Award entrants, but we're seeing that again, time and time again, and so Intersekt is a great example of that. Yeah,
and it's, I think, characterized by fewer t-shirts and more jackets and suits, right?
So many more jackets and so many more suits, but less banks this year, ironically.
Yeah. What's been the highlight for you?
Lee Hatton on stage yesterday morning was pretty impressive. The highlight for me is probably this after party right now. Yeah. Just looking at the room, there's still over 300 people here tonight. And, the faces, everyone's talking about how great Intersekt was, how well produced the content was, and how much they've enjoyed seeing everyone in person. Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about the event. So I unfortunately missed Lee because I didn't get here until 9:30 yesterday morning.
You got Toby.
Yeah, I got to be honest, right? I was expecting it to be maybe 100 people there, kind of nice, easy. I walked in and the energy was just insane. It was what, 600 people?
Yeah, so we've had 600 people through the doors over the last 2 days,
wow.
Which is incredible. But I think the highlight in terms of was the opening drinks last night.
Yeah.
The energy in the room at the Hyatt was unbelievable.
Yeah.
There was over 500 people there for that event alone.
Yeah. And what does this mean for the industry? Because it is now an industry, right? We're not a community or an ecosystem.
Yeah. Ironically, in every speech I've given this week, it's been either the fintech sector or the fintech industry, so you can actually hit the nail on the head. I think what this means is maybe in 3 years' time we don't have an Intersekt conference. It is actually a financial services. We're growing, we're developing, and I was talking about this at the VIP dinner last night, that the sector is now so large that we will be part of general financial services in the next 2 to 3 years.
Awesome. Well, Rebecca, congratulations to you and all the team on putting on what has been without doubt the greatest fintech event ever in Australia. And can't wait for the next one, but can't wait for the Finnies, which is 3 weeks' time. What are you thinking?
Look,
how are you going to follow this up?
So the team gets 1 day off on Monday, and as you know, I'm pretty generous to the team, Dexter, so 1 day off is not that many for them after 3 days of 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. So they're going to have 1 day off, and then we've got the Finnies in 3 weeks' time, and we'll be celebrating the first ever inductees into the Hall of Fame, which I think is another sign of maturity in the ecosystem.
Right. Well, look, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the evening now. You thoroughly deserve it. Got Dave Engel from AWS. First of all, Dave, thanks for you and AWS putting on such an awesome final drinks party for Intersekt 2021. Mate, what's it been like for you?
Well, it's a pleasure to put these drinks on. It really is like the icing on the cake. So full credit to Fintech Australia, who put on the best in-person event that I've been to, not just after COVID, but for the year before COVID.
Yeah.
Full credit to Beck and the team. They've done a really amazing job of just really demonstrating the quality of the fintech scene in Australia and how well it's doing, despite everything that's gone on.
Awesome. Now, you're at AWS, but you've been around the fintech scene for a long time. We've been friends for a good few years now. Before AWS, you were with Berency. You got a lot of time spent in the payments industry. What kind of attracted you to AWS, and what impact do you have now on the fintech scene here in Oz?
No, it's a good question. What attracted me to AWS was the ability to really go very, very, very broad in the fintech ecosystem. So we've got a fintech ecosystem that is really maturing. You look at the likes of Athena or Judo or Bright, who are, not just doing really, really amazing work, but raising capital from very sophisticated investors at very, at significant quantities. And the opportunity with AWS is to try to both help accelerate the growth of those companies, but equally to help identify the companies that we think are the future of the Australian financial services industry, and then put our thumb on the scale and help accelerate their growth. And I'm lucky enough that I have the backing of AWS to work with the fintech ecosystem, and really the mandate is just help them grow faster. And by them growing faster, ultimately we think that it'll be for the betterment of Australians and the Australian ecosystem.
Now you've done a few Intersekts. What would you say has made this one different or stand out to the others?
The networking. Hands down, the networking. Part of it is that everybody has just been hanging to get out and have a chat and actually see people in 3 dimensions, which is a bit unusual for us. But equally, both the quality of the people that Beck has organized, both the speakers and the attendees, and just the willingness of people to have really open and frank conversations, to learn from each other, to ask each other for help. And I think the opportunities that will be generated out of this will really put us being the ecosystem in a really good place for the next year until the next Intersekt.
Now, one of the kind of comments that I've heard a few people mention is they've been, if there's been a disappointment, it's been the lack of presence by the big 4 banks. However, we've also had AWS, Salesforce, Mambu, Xero, like big tech firms coming in and almost like replacing the presence. What's coming from the kind of the tech focus? What do you think is the future that we're looking at of fintech? Is it banking and fin, or do you think it's more tech and then fin?
Look, I think that what we're seeing in the fintech ecosystem is that there are some companies that are coming in and disrupting the status quo. And I think that there are some companies that are coming in and effectively helping to accelerate the growth of the banks and accelerate their ability to deliver the next generation of services to their customers. So one great example would be Slip. So Slip has done a deal with all the big 4 banks. They're obviously now live with NAB, and they're enabling NAB and NAB's merchants to get better visibility into what NAB customers are spending, how they're spending, and what they want to allow NAB to actually get closer to their customers. So I think that what we're going to see is that there's going to be companies like Slip or like Frankie One with their collaboration with Westpac, where fintech and the financial services legacy, the main companies, are not in opposition, but are actually going to accelerate each other's growth, really for the betterment of Australians and the Australian ecosystem. So I don't think it's one or the other. I think there will be some disruptors, and one of the main topics was open banking, and open banking is obviously here to foster competition and innovation. But equally, we're seeing some really great Australian fintechs that are actually collaborating and working quite closely with the main big 4 banks in Australia.
Awesome. What's been your greatest moment of Intersekt 2021?
The headline is just getting to hang out with people like you. It's been such a long time, and it's been such a pleasure to actually just get and sit and have broad, wandering conversations with people. The specific moment that sticks out in my mind is when Jill Berry called the most recent open banking update from Scott Farrell. I'm gonna try to get this right. CDR and the Chamber of Secrets, because from Jill's perspective, it is like Harry Potter for her.
Awesome. Well, Jill certainly knows how to call it as she sees it.
Absolutely right.
But Dave, thanks so much for putting on the event. Thanks to AWS, and so good to see you, brother.
It's a pleasure, Dexter. Thank you for doing everything that you do, mate.
Cheers, man. Tess Thomas from UK DIT. Lovely to see you again. It's been too long.
Great to see you, Dexter. It's been really good catching up with everyone in the fintech ecosystem over the past 2 days.
And Tess, how does it feel to be doing in-person events again?
Yeah, it's quite surreal, but
Yeah.
really energizing. Yeah, it's really good to see all the familiar faces in the fintech ecosystem.
Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about UK DIT? Because we've had a good relationship the last few years. The work that you do is phenomenal, but it'd be great to just share it with our listeners.
Yeah, sure. So the UK Department for International Trade, where the team is spread across Australia and New Zealand, and what we do is we support the best Aussie fintechs, Aussie Kiwi fintechs to expand into the UK. So we support with anything from visas, tax information, access to the regulators, access to key networks that really help your business grow in the UK. So we are measured on the success of Aussie fintechs. So we want to really help them and hold their hands throughout the journey. Whether that takes 1 year, 18 months, we want to be there to support them and see them grow in the UK and beyond.
Awesome. Now, we first met, I think, at Sibos in 2018.
Wow.
And yeah, it was, I think, it was, to me, that was the moment where I started to really believe that fintech could be something in Australia.
Yeah.
But what we've seen over this last 3 years, it's mind-blowing when I think back. What's your take as to where we're at now? And obviously, you've got a lot of links with the UK that's always taught that they're way ahead of Australia and we're miles behind. And what's your view as to where Australia's at in the fintech space?
So back in 2018 at Sibos, that was actually when the fintech bridge was announced between Australia and the UK. So that was when the UK, 3 years ago, so we've been 3 years now since the inception of the Australia-UK fintech bridge. And essentially what that means is we've formalised everything that's been happening into that two-way flow of trade and investment between the two markets. So what we've seen is a real influx of British fintechs coming to Australia, but also some really impressive talent going over to the UK. So buy now, pay later, I think is really, in the past 18 months has really kicked off with Zip, Afterpay, doing really well over there. I think, a lot of the InsurTech as well, which is part of the fintech scene, has really made a dent in the UK from Australia. So the Australian brand has really been noticed in the UK. And I think that's helped with the likes of the fintech bridge and the relationship between Treasury and FCA now.
Yeah, awesome. And what's been your highlight, or your favourite moment of Intersekt?
Favourite moment of Intersekt? Probably just seeing all the really impressive British fintechs that are doing their thing here and seeing how many Aussies are now working with the British fintechs, so the likes of Wise and Revolut, and seeing some really impressive Aussie talent picking up and heading up some of these British fintech companies.
Some of the great work by Tier 1 people that you just mentioned there, so I would agree with that comment. Yeah, well Tess, it's been great to catch up with you, so good to see you, and can't stress the great work that UK DIT is doing. Thanks.
Thank you, Dexter.
Brent Chorney from TrueLayer. How's it going, brother?
I'm good. What a week. What a couple of days. It's been great.
How are you feeling?
We're drinking. Oh.
Hey, Beck. We're doing a podcast. You've had your bit.
I like to say sorry.
Beck's off to do shots. We're following her.
Let's try again. I have to stop that one.
So yeah, it has been an epic 2 days.
Yeah, just being together with people again is just unreal. 600 people, one place, everyone passionate about fintech. I think you said it was the Glastonbury of.
Well, mate, we've been glamping, right?
It's not been that bad. We haven't had our gumboots out. Yeah, it's been fun.
There's been toilets easily accessible, right?
I've had coffee, I've had tea. It's been comfortable.
But it has been an epic 2 days, and the sizzle, the talk, the hot topic, CDR, open banking, TrueLayer, right in the midst of it. World pioneers. What's been your take?
I think we're at a point of excitement. We're at the cusp of doing something, and TrueLayer, we've been doing this for 5 years, so we can't wait to bring it to Australia. We, as a fintech community, get so excited by the regulations and the technology, but we forget about the consumer. In my presentation this week, we talked about actually the customer outcome, which is doing cheaper payments, easier and frictionless. Right?
Yeah.
And it's so exciting. So. We can't wait to kind of get through the complexity of this regs and make it happen.
Yeah. Frustration I have. I've been saying this for the last 2.5 years. Sick of the talk about policy.
That's right.
And the construct of CDR. I look at what's happening in the UK and things that seem small but have a massive impact on society. some of the work they've done with Revolut, some of the work we've seen happening around things like putting blocks on gambling. I mean, this is really important stuff. Doesn't seem to be getting much airtime or discussion time.
Yeah, I think there's a balance between kind of like the regulations to do something and then the politicians that kind of want to talk about something that's exciting for them at this point in time. So, I think for us, we're trying to bring our global experience to Australia, bring the policies that work and kind of our passion for the consumer for two things for us, connectivity and conversion, and making sure things actually happen.
What's been your highlight from this last 2 days, or your finest moment?
The serendipitous interactions where people, you catch up with people you haven't seen, realize how tall people are or short people are, because you're used to seeing them on Zoom meetings or hangout calls, and pressing the flesh is just incredible. You don't normally get to do that.
Awesome. Now, people have been disappointed with my height, and it's like, I'm sorry, right? But it's like, I can't really do anything about it. I'm intentionally shrunk, right? It's like, I've never talked about my height in a podcast, right? It's been, I think the other thing that's really struck me, Brenton, is, the best discussions, the best conversations, the best connections haven't happened in the rooms, have happened in the hallways.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's kind of one of those things that you talked about, the serendipity of an event.
Yeah.
That, it's like, this is where the real progress happens, and it just feels so good to be part of something that feels like it's a moment in history. Absolutely. It's kind of pivotal to the Australian economy.
Absolutely. I mean, all kudos to Fintech Australia and everyone been involved in presenting and facilitating these conversations, because ultimately it's conversations that makes things happen. It's people connecting with each other, talking, having a good time, enjoying it, and doing something. And I think all of us have been cooped up for the last 12 to 18 months.
Great to have you on, brother.
Cheers.
Linda Coker from World Bank. Linda, wonderful to see you.
Good to see you, Dexter.
So
in the flesh, I'm touching you.
I know, it's beautiful, right? So you and I, we've been around the fintech scene for a long time, right? The early days. What do you make of Intersekt 21?
Intersekt 2021 has been great. Obviously, we didn't have Intersekt last year, but this year, great to see everyone in person. Fintech Australia has done an amazing job. It's been a hard day today for me, and I blame Paul from Fintech Australia for too many whiskeys last night. And
the gangster.
I had to have a little disco nap for 20 minutes.
He's got the tequila shots going now, so.
Yeah. No, look, it's good. And look, it's evolved. What I like is actually we're seeing a lot more kind of consolidation of the community, right? Like there's like strength in relationships. There's actually like the content, we're seeing a lot more discussion, not just about kind of open banking and stuff, which is obviously something to talk about, but we're kind of broadening it out in terms of, fintech's very broad, right? I think the next step though is actually to live up to the name of Intersekt. And I'm not sure we're quite there yet, but like I think Intersekt is meant to be intersecting, fintech with incumbents, with kind of the rest of the ecosystem, and I'm not sure really incumbents are coming to the table yet.
Now, it's interesting, right, because 2019, the incumbents were at Intersekt. We had Shane Elliott do the keynote speech, but I do agree with you. I think that, the promise of CDR really should be where that term Intersekt comes in.
Yeah, I agree. And look, the community has grown and gotten stronger, and like the relationships are better. And look, let's think about what the content was over the last 2 days. I reckon most of the sessions were around how do we collaborate? How do we partner? Do you know what I mean? There were so many sessions around that, and there was great examples. But there is more to do, right? And actually, I want to see more of industry here. Like, we're in Melbourne. All the industry super funds are in Melbourne. Why are they not in Intersekt? Insurance. Even the banks. Like, not all of them were there over the last 2 days. Let's keep bringing them in. We're all on a journey together. I think what's going to happen over the next few years in terms of not just open banking and CDR, platforming of financial services, plugging, digitization of banking, because no one's really doing digital banking yet, plugging it all in, it's all going to come together. It's going to mean actually a lot more competition. It's going to mean for the consumer a lot more choice in terms of how I can go about my regular life and have choice and control over what I do. I mean, all of that is great.
Yeah.
There is going to be disruption.
Yeah, look, I think that, if there's a frustration I've had, not that I've gone to the round tables, but I'm just sick of people talking about policy around CDR. Come on, right? It's like, we're there, we're live, like, let's just go, right? Build it, beg for forgiveness. That's my view, right?
Yeah,
Let's stop asking for permission to do stuff.
No.
Yeah.
And plugging it all in.
Yeah.
Super. Insurance. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Linda, what's been your biggest highlight of Intersekt, other than spending 8 minutes and 30 seconds with me?
This is my highlight, Dexter. No, look, my highlight has been, I think, not just seeing and connecting with people in person that I haven't seen for a year, because, we're humans, and whilst you talk on Zoom and stuff, it's really nice to see people in person and look, I'm not sure there's been much social distancing.
Linda, great to catch up as always. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, and can't wait to do the next Intersekt with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Dexter.
So we've got Chris Rogers from Mambu. Chris, so good to see you, buddy.
Always, it's so good after a long time to catch up with you, my friend.
We last caught up, about 2 weeks before lockdown,
Was it the last event that ever happened before COVID?
I think it was,
Globally?
I think it was, Chris, so good to see you.
sir.
Intersekt 2021.
Yeah.
What have you made of it?
Look, I think the energy in the room was measurable because we joke about it, but we finally got together as an industry and were able to share war stories and reconnect, and that above everything else was the most valuable thing for everyone that joined us, I think, right?
Yeah, now last time we caught up, you were split, at Mambu.
Yes.
I was, as a friend, I was naturally very excited to see the move for you.
Yeah, right, great.
Yeah, so do you want to tell the listeners a little bit more about Mambu?
Yeah, look, the first thing I'll say, Dexter, and you'll hate this, is I was ready to take some time out, but I was romanced by Mambu.
Yeah.
So Mambu fits in the middle of what Intersekt is about, because we are next-gen core banking. So we are working with fintechs, working with banks, and trying to shake up what's been a really static place, right? Not the sexiest place in the world, but I could not resist the challenge to come in and shake up core banking.
Well, mate, a sexy man like you, right?
I can't help it. I wish your audience could see us right now.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you from me.
We've got the perfect faces for podcasts, man.
I've got a face for radio, my friend.
Yeah. Now, Chris, it's we've been around the industry quite a few years now.
Yeah.
We've seen the emergence of businesses. It feels, I've said this a few times, it feels like now this is actually an industry, not an ecosystem, not a community. It's tangible, multi-billion dollar, hundreds of billions dollar industry now here in Australia. What's your sense as to kind of where we go from here?
Yeah, I mean, to really double down on your point, if you think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the deal sizes in fintech in Australia were relatively small.
Yeah.
And Australia was saying, go to San Francisco. If you have a dream, you're not going to wake up here, you'll wake up there. But now we're seeing $100 million deals. We're seeing amazing fintech success stories. We're seeing banks, venture funds having successful cash outs. You're so right.
Yeah.
We're in a place now where Australia have a chance at really owning the fintech sector in this region, or having a real play globally.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, look, and it's been the kind of almost an esoteric mission of Tier 1 people to help put Australia on the map as #1 for fintech innovation in the world, right?
That's so right.
And our position is 50% of our clients, so international businesses launching here. Our belief is that the more international businesses that we can get here, the faster the innovation, and the more chance that we've got of fulfilling that goal. So it's just great to see more and more businesses, the caliber of Mambu, looking at Australia and saying, hey, could this be our APAC regional hub? It's just awesome.
Yeah. Oh, you put it out there now, Dexter. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a $2 billion company. We're a double unicorn.
Yeah.
Most importantly, though, what gave us that is raising the capital in Europe. We're using that to double down here.
Yeah.
You know, we're growing here. We're getting the skill set, and the market is viable.
Yeah.
There is a market here, and in New Zealand. So it's a super exciting space. To your point, mate, it's coming of age.
Yeah.
And fintech is now taken seriously. The government representation we've had at Intersekt has been really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. And it's just great to see that.
Yeah. Senator Bragg seems to be like on very friendly terms with everybody as well, right?
Right.
Yeah.
His speech was so lackadaisical. And almost.
Although he did fasten his button jacket when he got up to talk.
Had to. But he was wearing fintech. He had the great glasses.
Yeah.
And he looks the part.
He does.
But,
No,
he speaks fintech.
He does.
And so does regional Victoria and then Victorian government. They all are talking our talk.
Yeah.
You know, no bullshit bingo. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
They get it now. We're important.
Yeah.
It's good.
Chris, so good to catch up. Go
Always.
and enjoy the night. Let's
Thanks
have a
so
few more
much.
drinks and
Absolutely.
chin chin, my friend.
To Tier 1 to Intersekt.
Yeah,
Go
and
well.
Chris and Mambu. Shahira Gardner from Finch. So great to finally meet you in person.
Hi there.
How's Intersekt 2021 been for you?
Fantastic. It's been brilliant. So nice to see everyone in person again. I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 times, but you know, we've really missed that interaction, that casual conversation, the generation of ideas, the networking. It's been fantastic.
Now, Finch, do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So Finch is a transaction data intelligence platform, and we help financial services, retail, open banking better understand their transaction data to deliver analytics and personalization. We've gone through a bit of a journey. For those of you who were familiar with Finch app, we were in the market in 2017 with a peer-to-peer payments app. In 2018, we released our APIs to business, so data APIs and payment APIs. And then in 2019, we signed on quite a number of enterprise clients, and it became very clear that data was the future, and data was where we wanted to spend our time and energy.
Now, the Finch story is one that isn't just about pivots, but one about resilience and digging in, earning the right to the next 6 months. Yeah, right, but all the stuff that everybody needs to do and everybody needs to be made aware of, and you got to go into doing a startup and know that, hey, look, this is going to be what you're getting in for. You've done that. What do you think now? I mean, particularly Intersekt 2021, it seems like the platform is set for a business like yours. All the talk's been about CDR. All the talk's been about open banking. It's more than just sizzle. How are you feeling about the future?
I'm super excited. I think what open banking has done is it's been a catalyst for customer-consented data access, and we believe that's the first step to delivering better financial products and services that will help customers. Now, what we would love to do is set a new standard for data quality for open banking and banking in general. To date, transaction data has been notoriously low quality, but it proves to be the most reliable, accurate, real-time indicator in those financial circumstances. It doesn't matter if you're a lender, if you're a PFM, if you're a bank, if you're running a rewards program. These kind of granular behaviors is key to delivering that offering. So we see ourselves as, we're platform agnostic, we're player agnostic. We would like to be part of a new standard of data quality that actually enables everyone to be able to deliver on their personalization promise.
Fantastic. Now, what's been your favorite moment of Intersekt 2021?
My favorite moment, I think it's more the theme around the theme or the vibe around sort of collaboration and people just being really candid with what that experience has been like. And maybe to date, it's been quite hush-hush around, what it takes to work with a bank, what it takes to deliver on that partnership. And it's been really refreshing to hear from fintechs who have put everything on the line, to win these bank partnerships, to deliver on the bank partnerships. It's been a hard grind, hard work, but they're committed to the outcome and they're committed to their strengths and their value and what they can contribute. And I think it's this realization that if we all are just really transparent and candid with what we do well and where we need help, and it's not a matter of competing versus collaboration, I think we can continue to deliver great outcomes. And that's been a very refreshing take this year that maybe has not come through as explicitly in the past.
I don't know if you noticed, but there seemed to be a lot less t-shirts and a lot more jackets and shirts being worn.
It's like we've grown up a little.
I think, but I think the other thing that strikes me is people are representing businesses, not t-shirts anymore. We did, Rohan. Hey, Rayan from Fintech Australia is joining us.
That was the exact question I was asking, so I'm so glad you're on the podcast.
Well, there you go, folks. We're bringing this to you live, and we wanted to bring to you the spirit of what it is like at Intersekt. And I got to say, it's just been such a great, just great energy, great vibe. But I think the thing that struck me, Shahira, is being a nice person is massively underrated. And I think what we've started to recognize is there's a lot of very nice people in this industry that are striving to do the right thing and making a lot of personal sacrifice to make an impact on people's lives. Not to build a $1 billion app, but to actually make an impact on people's lives. And I think that authenticity has shone through to me, and it's reflected in the journey that you've been on with Finch and your team and a lot of other businesses. And I think what's been, for me, very gratifying is that now we're starting to see businesses that are starting to move really quick and get a lot of momentum. And I'm sure Finch, with all that groundwork that you've done, are set to experience a kind of J-curve moment right now.
It's certainly we're definitely excited, and I think the takeaway is, or rather the reminder, is that people really do business with people.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's one of the mantras we have at our business is, we want to work with partners we love and we can have fun with. And that we respect, because if you're not, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this festival has definitely reinforced that. Everyone's kind of got a little bit more of a human element to them, and they've been perhaps a little bit humbled by the year previous, and it's been a good thing. It's been a good thing for business. Business growth has been a good thing for personal growth, professional growth, and we're really starting to see some of those new kind of ways of working and doing business, which I really hope results in some really great outcomes and great collaborations.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for giving me some time, Shahira.
Thank you. It was great to chat.
So I'm with Jacko and Francois from Patron here at Intersekt 2021. Jacko, how's it been?
It's been amazing, Dexter. It's been a really good time to be here. We found the whole thing is very well organised, and it's been great to see some faces for the first time in a few months / years.
No, Patron. A lot of our listeners might know who you are. But Francois, 8 months back, the three of us sat having a coffee on the northern beaches, and you were telling me about this great idea and that you were working on. And here we are 8 months later, and you've made some fantastic progress. Do you want to tell our listeners a bit about the news that you released recently?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's been a whirlwind, so it's been a ton of news. We'll try and distill it as little as possible. But we recently partnered with Xero, which is quite interesting for us in terms of the capability that we introduced from an accounting perspective. Very, very fortunate to have done that. We've also just completed our second funding round with some serious both domestic and international partners, which we're very thankful of. So funding round in January, funding round now just concluded. So a very short space of time. So it gives us a runway to properly scale and get the right people on board.
So Jacko, what does the future hold for Patreon? What can we expect to see?
Actually, like every good fintech will always have like a massive story to tell you. I wouldn't say they're actually any different. In our case, we've got really big plans and to become like one place where we can be a transaction alternative for businesses that are looking for an alternative to a bank. So one place where you can do your accounts payable, accounts receivable, and also be able to do like a business transaction account, move your money around the world. That's all the features that we're releasing in the next few months.
Awesome. Well, chaps, it's so great to see the progress that you're making. I'm just blown away, from where you are now to where you were 8 months back when we had that coffee.
Well, Dexter, look, it's a privilege to be able to work with amazing people in Australia as well. And I must say, like I look back, and I think you and I spoke about it earlier today. It's really good to have.
Okay, peeps. It's now getting serious, and I'm at the bar with Ben Ford from Frollo, Linton Pipcorn from Suncorp, and Rayan from Fintech Australia, and we're doing tequila shots. Chaps, how good has Intersekt been? Benny?
Look, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, we're probably going to be talking 11. I don't want to go down the Glastonbury route, but I'm thinking Glastonbury 2012, at least. Dexter?
Mate, 97 for me when Prodigy opened with Smack My Bitch Up. It was epic.
And I can't build on that at all.
Linton, good to see you, mate.
You too, Dex. It's always a pleasure. Great to have you in Melbourne, hanging out in the cold weather. I know you guys from the north struggle a little bit when it gets a bit cold, but it's great to have
north
everyone.
of England or north of Australia?
Yeah, Newcastle.
Mate, this is summer for us.
No, it's good.
That's why you've got no shirt on.
Yeah, I've got a shirt on.
He's got a shirt on. Yeah. I'm the one wearing the jacket, funnily enough.
And Rian, mate, you've come all rugged up.
I am so excited that it's all done. Everyone's had the best time, and it's always been better than ever. So.
Oh, it has, mate. Honestly, congratulations for what you all pulled off.
Thank you.
It's been epic.
It was awesome.
Now,
It's so good to see the
mate,
community.
have that tequila, brother. You've earned it. So Duncan Curry from Marqeta's with me. Duncan, Intersekt 21. Yeah. What do you make of it?
Do you know what? It's been a brilliant opportunity to actually see a lot of people in the same spot, face to face. Seeing lots of Zoom faces. But yeah, it's been really refreshing to see kind of people in the real life, connect with people we haven't seen for a good couple of years. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
So since we last caught up, awesome news. You joined Marqeta as country manager, country director for Australia. Fantastic to see just another blue chip fintech, if we can call them that, right? But a sensational, business. Can you tell us anything about their plans for Australia?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I've been fortunate enough to be dealing with the Marqeta guys for a couple of years now. So I've come on board as country manager for 2 months now, and part of that is to help kind of grow the business, grow the market here for Marqeta across Australia and New Zealand. So that's primarily because of some great relationships that we already had coming into it. So supporting the likes of Afterpay, Zip, Klarna already when we came into market. It just kind of really solidifies one kind of Marqeta's role in the ecosystem. It's good to be able to prove out the technology side of things without having to have, relying on kind of bumps on seat to really push it. So for me, when I kind of took the role at Marqeta, the announcement with Zip was one of the things that I kind of really looked to. I'm like, you know what? Out of all the providers that they could have gone with, they went with Marqeta because of the technology. not because there was just people here to service them. And I think it just speaks, speaks very, very well to one, the organisation that we've got back in the US, but the technology that we're able to provide these guys to kind of do what it is that they need to do it quickly, to do it well, and to do it efficiently. So
awesome. Now you and I have been around this industry from the early days. We've kind of seen it all. We've seen it develop. When you look back, we've been to Intersekt together. Like, what's your synopsis of where and I'm going to say industry because it feels like now it's a real industry. What's your kind of view of where we're at right now?
Yeah, look, I don't know. I kind of feel like we're a little peak buy now, pay later, and I say that like our biggest customers are buy now, pay later, and I think kind of talking to kind of people whether here or elsewhere, there's a lot of what can we do now around buy now, pay later, and I think the challenge for us as an industry is to go, so we had credit cards and personal loans as a product set, as a wave. We've got buy now, pay later as the current wave. What's the next wave? But I think from an industry perspective, I think we can get a little bit focused on the what's cool with the what's now. It's like kind of what's next, and picking up very, very heavily on a theme over the last couple of days around CDR. Obviously that's going to impact it. But how do we kind of do smart decisions around that? You look at the UK, which is clearly you do. Open banking was good, but it's taken a while for it to make kind of seismic shifts in the way people do things. So I think that'll eventuate, that'll come.
Awesome. Well, Duncan, really good to catch up. Congrats on the Marqeta gig. Good luck, and great to see you again.
Magic. Thanks, dude.
So, Jill Berry, Ada Intersekt 2021.
Oh my gosh, what an event. I've honestly had so much fun.
It's been awesome, eh?
I would say it's been a hoot.
Yeah.
It's been a hoot.
So what would you say has been your highlight?
There's been some really wonderful panels. I like talking to intelligent people that just get on with stuff.
So this is the low light then, eh?
No. Just no BS. Just like learning a whole lot. Like actually taking a step back from like the busyness of the day-to-day of running a fintech and actually chatting with people, like putting faces and bodies to people that you've been talking with on Zoom for the past year. And I think it's been
there are so many
wonderful.
people who've been disappointed by my height.
Oh my God. Actually, I've met a number of people who I'm just been like, you're so tall, and I just didn't expect that. No, but I think the networking, the absolute energy, everyone's like very pro partnership. It's been absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy I'm here.
So today we also released the Finnie's People's Choice podcasts, of which you're one of the finalists for Emerging Fintech. What's it been like to come to Intersekt, I guess, as a founder versus as a participant, right? Or just somebody on their kind of, not on the fringes, but hey, look, you're right, as a founder, right? There's so many different reasons to be here.
Absolutely. I guess I've always been on the other side of it. Just like working with vendors that kind of like solve problems, working on bank level procurement. It's not fun for the fintech or for the bank really, but like now I came here and I'm actually kind of like honestly shocked at the people the level of enthusiasm for open banking. And
what's been your kind of highlight or greatest moment of Intersekt, Jill?
I think I honestly think that it will, even though it's been incredibly intelligent panels, I think it's just been really being here, the energy. It's been like the networking, and we have so many deals in the pipeline. But even just being able to meet with the CEO, CTO, and just accelerate everything. That I think that it just works out well for the providers, for the people who have the problem to be solved. And I'm just so excited to meet actually everyone in person. You hear about their stories, their business stories, their personal stories, and you just connect so much deeper than on Zoom. it makes me realize like how like surface level, how agenda driven it is on Zoom. Was like we get hours together here. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and the thing, as talented as everybody is here, right? We're ordinary people, right? We're not the kind of Elon Musks of the world.
I totally agree with that. Even being able to spend time with the with the regulators as well. They're people. Everyone wants to just do the best job that they can. No one wakes up being like, oh, I'm in the mood to screw someone over today.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone is positive, solution focused, outcome focused, and I feel like all of that is just accelerated so much here as well. I'm just like, I'm so happy.
Yeah, and I think that thing around human connection, it is really important to meet in person, right? Because it's a lot harder to be a dick to somebody that you've met face to face versus over an email or a Zoom, right? And I think just that, it might seem subtle, but it just brings everybody closer together, and you realize that, hey, we're actually all after the same thing. We're not, we shouldn't be kind of fighting against each other or think we're running in opposite directions.
No, I totally agree with that, because companies don't do business with companies. People do business with people. Yeah. And on a 30, 45-minute Zoom call, I actually don't have the time to be like, oh, tell me your backstory. Tell me everything about what made you so frustrated or so excited to do what you do or start it. Like you can't see passion. You can't feel all of that over Zoom. But it's electricity.
So how does it feel coming to an event like this with a business that you started up that's still really young, 18 months old? At the most it's got to be, and you've had a lot of attention, a lot of kudos. How does that make you feel, right, when you kind of go back to thinking about, hey, I'm going to do this? Did you think this day would kind of come?
I think it's incredibly surreal, and I genuinely believe in imposter syndrome, and you have write-ups in newspapers, or you have posts on LinkedIn, and it's like, oh, I don't really know who reads this, like those LinkedIn analytics, but you just don't know. And then I was like, all of a sudden, it's like people actually know what you're doing, what problem you're solving, and how you're differentiated in the market. Even catching up with Lauren Kaplan, she, former reinventor, and now she's at StartMate. She was actually 3 months in from being like, oh yeah, let's start a data sharing company, to actually winning a fintech competition and getting my first signed contract. She was actually a mentor for us. And I remember having that first conversation with her, just be like, oh my gosh, someone wants to buy our platform. How do we price it? What do we do? And so Lauren, knowing that rawness, that vulnerability, that total journey of AdaTree, we just even got the name years ago, and she's really seen the journey, and she's been a really, really early believer, and it's fun to be like, oh, remember a year and a half ago, when we were baby AdaTree and what we wanted to do. It's been so fun reminiscing on that, and even just be like, oh, what's it gonna be in 5 years? What's it gonna be in 10 years? It's gonna be the highlight of the year. I love it. I'm so happy.
Well, it could be the highlight of the year in 3 weeks' time at the Finnies. So good luck, Jill. Thanks for joining me. Awesome to see you and see AdaTree getting so much recognition for the work that you're doing.
Well, I think, thank you so much, Dexter. Lovely talking to you.
So I've got Harry Godber from Flair with me. Harry, great to see you again.
Great to see you. Thank you very much for having me.
So first of all, the Flair, what a great business. Do you want to tell our listeners a bit more about it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Flair's one of those companies that is scaling incredibly fast. We have 1 in 5 Australian new employees on the platform. But it's one that a lot of people haven't heard of by dint of the business model. So we provide onboarding software for a very large number of companies that have high turnover employees. And we provide software that enables them to get an informed view of the financial services that they use and really capture that engagement with financial services that occurs when someone starts a job. So if you think about the moments at which you are most engaged with the superannuation, for example, it is when you start a job, and the superannuation system has been built around a model of defaults of craft-related or job-related superannuation funds. We are here to break that model and to say, we understand that when you start a job, you are most engaged with your financial services compared to any other time in your life. But we don't want you to be defaulted, to be, to go into a product that you have not chosen and you're not informed about. So we provide superannuation and a variety of financial products, an opportunity for you to become engaged and become informed about what it is you're using, and make an informed choice of funds, or banking platform, of novated leasing products, of benefits across a wide range. Because if your employer is running payroll every 30 days, then you are that you are a creditor to that employer for the time from when you have earned money every hour that you work to the point at which you get paid. So it's one of these extraordinary things that we haven't focused a lot about. There hasn't been a huge amount of innovation in how people get paid. And yet, the situation we have is that a lot of companies will run payroll, whether it is fortnightly or monthly, and individuals as employees have expenses, they have bills to pay, and it is just not fair that people are left in the lurch with things to pay while their employer can use their money as cash flow support. So this sort of new challenge of pay is the next frontier of what we're looking to address. And what we announced at Intersekt was that we have launched a platform, it's a partnership-based platform that will allow people to access the best financial services when it comes to their income and to help them live their best financial life.
Awesome. Now, Harry, you represent to me the next evolution of talent in the industry, right? Multi-dimensional, just like very diverse experience, highly capable, and have accomplished some, I think, truly remarkable things at a fairly early age. You just joined Fintech Australia as a board director.
Indeed.
Prior to Flair, you were working with Senator Jane Hume as one of her aides and really pushing the fintech agenda. What would you say coming to Intersekt has really impressed you about where the industry's at?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, Australia has one of the world-leading fintech sectors, and that's not just in terms of size of customer service or amount of capital raised. It's really in terms of the ecosystem as a whole, how it has grown organically, the variety and diversity of services and people who are in it. We are truly lucky in that we have geographically a place that is incredibly connected to our neighbours in the Asia Pacific. But we also have a regulatory regime that's one of the best in the world, and that has strong parallels with Northern Europe, with Western Europe and North America. And if you are a company that is coming out of one of those two markets and looking to scale in the Asian market, those sorts of connections are extraordinary to use Australia as a launching point. And likewise, if you're an Asian financial services company that wants to launch into European or American markets, then again, we're a great test bed for you. And one of the things that I think was most remarkable about Intersekt was being able finally to bring people together in person and see what it is that we've all been working on over the last several months. And through what was an extraordinary period for business growth through COVID.
Have some pizza, Harry. Come on, we're at a party.
I'm all good. What was an extraordinary period for business growth through COVID? I feel like the interpersonal connections that you can gain from just like talking to somebody in person and understanding not only what their business does and what you would hear over a Zoom call, but what really makes them passionate about what they do. That is what I've gained from the last couple of days, and being able to see that diversity of thoughts, diversity of products in our market, and see the passion that surrounds it. That's what made Intersekt really special to me.
Harry, great to catch up. Let's go and party, brother.
Indeed. Thank you. Great to see you.
So, Lisa Gostinsky from Fintech Australia.
Oh my God.
How has Intersekt been for you this year?
Actually, it has been a lot of work, but completely worth it to see everybody networking, our members like engaging even more than they have been doing lately. Great experience as always, and great speakers. I think we have a great industry snapshot through Intersekt, which I am very proud to be part of.
Now, 2019 was, it was a great event. But this one's just gone up like 2 or 3 gears, right? What do you put that down to? It's a much
the
bigger
industry
event, yeah?
itself evolved, obviously. And I think going through the pandemic, the resilient, they were able to thrive.
Yeah.
And I think we have seen great new solutions, especially because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, and I think it will just grow from now on.
Right.
So,
Now, you're going to get a good night's sleep, and then you go again, because we got the Finnies in 3 weeks.
Yes, in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So how are plans going for the Finnies?
Everything is lined up, but we still have to wire in some details. But we expect a great event. It will be a night to remember, and especially because we'll celebrate this great industry and the people that make it so great.
And we got the People's Choice Awards again. So if you're listening, folks, go and check it out. tier1people.com, Finnies 2021. Go and listen to it and vote for the winners. Lisa, well done. Awesome event. Congrats to you and the whole team. So proud of everything you've done. Okay, you've caught us in the middle of tequila shots. The party's really getting started now.
It's really, really getting started, isn't it, Dexter?
It
I
is,
may have had more than one shot.
Yeah. Look, Ben, you're on crutches, mate. What happened with the tequila shots?
Look, the tequila was purely medicinal, Dexter, and I'm glad to say I made it to the end of Intersekt. The foot probably is never going to be the same again, but you know me, I'm all for fintech.
Well, mate, it's only taken me 104 episodes, but it's great for you to finally have your debut on Fintech, Tata.
And you know I've been asking if I could come on since episode 1, so screw you.
Mate, I'm a dream maker, right? Well, Dan from Marqeta, good to see you, mate. How's Intersekt 2021 been for you?
Great to see you too, Dex. Thanks a lot. It's been amazing. It's been great to meet so many people in the fintech industry. What we couldn't do in 12 months remotely was done in 2 days.
Hey, that's a great point. Really good point. What for you has been the highlight? Any kind of moments stood out for you?
The highlight for me was really just getting to see everyone and get to, the common thing was, hey, I've seen you before on LinkedIn. It's great to finally see you in person. And really the connections you're able to make when you see people face to face and talk about the opportunities they're working on. I've seen partnerships happen, investments potentially happen, the opportunity to speak to people from everywhere. That's been amazing. The speakers have been great and the organisers did a fantastic job.
And Marqeta, do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So Marqeta is a business banking alternative for sole traders, freelancers and entrepreneurs. We'll be launching soon in Australia, so keep a lookout for us.
Awesome. Well, Dan, great to catch up with you. Can't wait to see Marqeta do the launch. It's, as you know, a hotly contested space, but finally as a business owner, I'm going to have so many options. It's awesome.
It's good for everyone, Dexter. Thanks a lot.
I'm with Anna from Wise.
Hey, Dex.
Hey, how's Intersekt 2021 been for you?
2021 has been fantastic. It's been phenomenal to catch up with everyone. It's been really good to see people in person. And I think this has been the best Intersekt yet.
We first met Intersekt 2019.
Yes, we did.
And it's great an event as it was. You just can't even begin to compare the two, can you, really?
Yeah.
It's gone up 3 or 4 gears.
Yeah, no, and I think it's the testament to the fintech industry in Australia, right? Like, it just keeps getting better every year, and we missed it last year during COVID, and this year you can really feel the energy in the room where everyone's come together. They're really excited to catch up with people, share ideas together, and just catch up with people and get to know what everyone's been up to over the last year and a half, basically.
Absolutely. Now, going to do a bit of a branding exercise for you. Wise, of course, TransferWise.
Yes.
You dropped the transfer very recently.
Yep.
What, other than the kind of name change, what else can we expect to see from Wise in the rest of 2021?
Yeah, look, there's a lot going on with Wise. Obviously, the name catches up with what we've had for the last 3 or 4 years, essentially, with more than money transfers. So people needed to know that, and that's what the name reflects. But going forward, it's the same stuff that you expect from Wise. More currencies, cheaper transfers, debit cards in more markets, more banking integration. So we've announced up, obviously, at Intersekt 2019. We'll have a few more banking integrations to announce in Australia and around the world soon.
Awesome.
I can't give that away right now, but it's coming.
I know when you can, let me be the first to know.
You will be the first to know, Dex. But aside from that, more markets, right? So, we're always expanding where you can send money from. And there's a few in Asia that we're launching in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's exciting.
And what's been your kind of greatest moment of Intersekt 2021?
Honestly, the greatest moment has just been catching up with everyone.
Every moment's been great, yeah?
Literally, and I know this sounds cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to catch up with everyone in person. It's been a hard time, but it's been hard to catch up with everyone over Zoom and have a really transactional catch up with everyone one-to-one. But now it's like in person,
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people kind of laughed when I put up a post on LinkedIn a few days ago about, hey, could this be the Glastonbury?
It is.
I've been to Glastonbury, and I got to tell you, right, like the energy. This is, as in terms of being in places or events, or times to remember.
Yeah.
And it's been the energy and the people that you've been around and the moments that you've shared. I got to say, this is from a professional perspective. This to me has been just I think the best event I've ever been to.
I agree, because like I said to you as well, 2019 was fantastic. 2020 we missed out, and then 2021 we've come in, and you can literally day one of Intersekt, there was genuinely a buzz where you caught up with everyone and they had a smile on their face and they were like, oh my god, mate, it's so good to see you. And even though you might have been the fiercest of rivals or competing businesses, everyone was just hugging and literally it is great to see fintech back in Australia, and that's what Intersekt is. It's been fantastic.
Awesome. Well, great to catch up and all. Lovely to see you again. Can't wait to hear about this news you're going to hit me with soon.
Absolutely, Dex. Good to see you as always.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening. If you did enjoy today's show, please consider leaving us a review, because it really helps me bring on great guests. Fintech Chatter is produced by Tier 1 people, leaders in fintech executive search. We'll help you launch, scale, and innovate by delivering world-class talent. And you can reach us info@tier1people.com. Until the next episode, stay safe